Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we are in the process of creating some quick placeholder graphics for all of these buildings. And then once we're done with that, we can start diving into building some UI, some game logic, some real game stuff, but I always like to have my world generation happening first. And then we'll do some graphics polishing later on once we've got all that working. That's kind of the three phases that I tend to go through in game development. I like to make the world, and then I like to make the way the game works within the world. It's kind of backwards, I know. But then after that, I like to go through and replace the placeholder graphics and polish everything all up and make it look pretty, which tends to be the longest for me. I wonder why. Well, first things first. Let's finish off our rural buildings. So first off, I'm going to save this as, and I'm going to save this as plant.blend. Save as. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to create us another hex here so that we can actually kind of see what's going on. And then I'm going to create a really quick plant here. This is not going to be particularly impressive on the technical level, but let's just go ahead and grab this face here and move this up and scale the whole thing down a fair amount. And this is not exactly on the surface and not exactly centered. Well, that's exciting. Oh, we're in local. Okay, Z of 0. Y of 0, and then up here, I'm going to go ahead and grab these and go to X and Y of 0, and a Z of, I don't know, probably 0.25. Okay, this is kind of exciting. We've got a rhombus sort of shape here. Let's just set that X to 0. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add in a circle. I think six vertices is plenty, and this is just going to be a couple of smokestacks. Going to scale it on down nicely and place them, I don't know, right around here-ish. Oh, that's inverted. Face direction is. I'm just going to do something along the lines of that. And then select all of this with Control-L. Select all linked vertices and just flip direction in the shading UV for faces. Okay. And grab it and duplicate it and place this something along the lines of there. And we can grab these and place them at 0.25. There we go. Got a couple of smokestacks. I'm also going to extrude this and put in a little bit of visual interest over here. Something kind of like that. And then something... I don't like that. Something kind of like that, just to make it be a little bit more abnormally shaped. Okay. Now I'm going to object transform origin to geometry. No, I don't like that. We'll put the 3D cursor at 0, 0, 0. Object transform origin to 3D cursor. Excellent. There we go. And so now we can just go in here and put in our two UV maps. This is going to be UV map normals. Go ahead and assign our material. Unwrap cube projection, and then with our regular UV map selected, I'm going to go ahead and just do a regular unwrap. UV image editor, palette.png. Okay. I'm just going to put literally everything in the concrete for right now. It's obviously not how I want to leave it. Nope, I want texture. That's obviously not how I want to leave it, but for now, it'll do. Okay, I think we can go ahead and color these a little bit separately. So these can be kind of, I don't know, maybe this brownish color, or maybe like tree trunk color. That'll be fine, I guess. And then I'm just going to make this structure up here be the dark dark asphalt color. There. That'll work. Now, it should look a little better in Unity than it does in Blender. Wouldn't take much. But I just want it to look about right. The entire thing here is it just needs to look passable. Which, I would say it does. Ish. Passable-ish. Let's go ahead and paste our component values here, make sure that we are properly sized. We appear to be. Okay. Building plant. And let's just go ahead and place this under town as a building plant. Make sure to assign it to our sub-hexes. And that is all of our rural prefabs actually properly set up. Excellent. Okay, so let's take a quick gander here. Whoa, that's whoa. Okay, middle click and drag is a little ambitious today, apparently. Wow. I feel like that needs to be toned down. Let's go into the main camera here and check our middle mouse pan. What is this one? Middle mouse pan boost. Let's bring that down to half, because that was really ambitious. There we go. That feels a little better. Yeah. Okay. No towns there. Here's a town. Okay, so we can see we've got our plants, we've got our stores. Scale is a little wonky, but it's fine. That can all be dealt with later on. Now, all of our rural tiles are completely generating. So we've got our fields, we've got our barns, we've got our farmhouses, we've got our cabins, we've got our forests, we've got our clearings, and if we manage to find our way to a town tile, we have our plants, our stores, and our houses. Perfect. So this is now working basically as expected. In the rural areas. In the urban areas, of course, it isn't. And our coloration is probably not the way we want it to be later on either, but we can change that at any time just by changing our colors in our sub-hexes here. So we can change our industrial color to be kind of a greenish, sure, but kind of a sickly green. Like that. It's kind of a pine green, isn't it? Kind of like that-ish. Our commercial color would probably be kind of a blue-green. And then our residential color could be like a deep green-ish. Let's see how that looks. We should be able to tell the difference easily enough, and if not, we can always have tooltips. Okay, so we come in here. Yeah. Now, it bears noting that our sub-hexes did not grab that, so we can just grab the residential color here and paste that in here, like so. Grab the commercial color here, paste that in here. Grab the industrial color here, and I'm actually going to make this even sicklier. There we go. And paste that in here. What the? Okay, that's more like it. Excellent. Okay, so let's take a quick look at what this looks like. Okay. I have no idea what is what. But that's what tooltips are for. Like, I can see that there's two colors. Are these different colors, or am I just colorblind? It's one of those two things. I think these are two different colors, which means that our commercial and our industrial are far too similar. And yeah, looking at this, they are definitely too similar. Let's make our commercial... Let's leave our industrial the way it is, and make our commercial be more blue-green. Kind of like that. That'll do for now. Okay. Now I should be able to tell the difference. Yeah, that's commercial, that's industrial, which means that all this is residential. Excellent. Now I can definitely tell the difference. So that's a good thing. So, let's see here. What do we need next? Apartment complexes, huh? I mean, we could do that. Again, I'm going to make this be very, very simple. I'm going to save as, and actually I'm going to go ahead and full on save that, but save as, and then apartment.blend. Again, this is going to be incredibly simple. I'm going to put in a plane right here, scale it down to be roughly the size of the plant, maybe a little bit on the smaller side. Like, really not much. Not much smaller, but maybe a little bit wider. Kind of like this. Apply that scale. Extrude it on up to be about this high. And then I'm just going to put in, I don't know, maybe like 8 stories, like this. And then something kind of along the lines of that. We'll get rid of the plant at this point. All of this along the bottom can be gotten rid of. Delete those faces. And then we'll need to cut in this direction as well to be about the same. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that looks about right. Okay. And then we'll probably do something kind of along the lines of... I want to grab these edge loops here, and actually this is not necessary to look like that, but I want to grab these edge loops here, go to individual origins, scale along the z-axis, and then just make these a little narrower. Maybe like 0.5. Something along the lines of that. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab roughly... Actually, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and delete everything that cannot be directly duplicated. So I'm going to delete these... Well, actually, we need a loop cut right there to make this happen. Like that. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and do a mirror modifier so that I don't have to do this quite as much. So let's do a mirror modifier here. Am I just blind? I think I'm blind. Where's mirror? Here's mirror. Okay, now I'm less blind. Excellent. Okay. So I just want to grab basically every other one here. So something like this. And again, this is just being done to do this really, really quick. Scale it down by about 0.75, I think. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And it bears noting that this will be kind of a line. That might be okay. And we could have like railings and balconies or something, but I'm not too concerned about that realistically. Now I'm going to go through and grab every one of these windows. Do not need that selected. But all of these here. And then I'm just going to extrude them in a little bit. Something along the lines of that. Okay. That's not too awful looking. I don't hate that. Now, what if I did add in little balconies here? Or at least, like, ribs. Let's see what that would look like. If I were to do something like this. Okay, we're gonna have to do it one side at a time. 0.05. Is that too much? Or is that just enough? Let's try 0.025. I think 0.025 might be better. So then let's just grab this over here. Grab these here. 0.025. Okay, and now we just need to fix these corners. Delete these faces. This is definitely the highest poly building we've done yet. But that's okay. Then the question is, do we want this to bend or be sharp? So if we wanted it to bend, it would be a little easier, and we could do it like that. Whereas if we did it sharp, let's just go ahead and do that up here. So that would extrude to this position, and then it would look like this. Which do I like better? Definitely the sharp. I like the sharp a lot better. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of this. So delete those faces. Extrude this along the x-axis to this position. And in we go. Excellent. Okay, and same thing here. Extrude to the x-axis. And put in these faces. And call it good. Whoops. Selected the wrong vertex there. There we go. Okay. Now, as far as this goes, this does not need to be this high poly. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these faces here. Actually, these vertices here. And we are just going to extrude this out along the y-axis to this y position. And this is just going to be a quad. There we go. Much lower poly. Now, as far as this goes, I mean, we could theoretically do something about it. But maybe that's like the elevator shaft or something. Who knows? If that's the case, though, maybe, just maybe, these vertices over here should be deleted. And the whole thing becomes flat right here. Let's see if I like that better. I don't know. It's kind of the same, I think. It's very, very similar. I think I'll leave it like this because this is slightly lower poly. Okay. So, yeah, this is definitely the highest poly thing we've done yet, at almost 4,000 triangles. But that's okay. We can even delete this vertice, now that we've merged that all together. And do that. Free up a couple more triangles. Not very many. I believe we have some doubles here. Oh, these are just double edges. That's going to be the case. That's fine. That won't show up in Unity. So, realistically, I mean, we could eliminate this gap, but I kind of like it. And I think we just leave it the way it is. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the palette. And then we're going to give it the 2 UV maps. Give it 3 UV maps. UV map, normal. And let's go ahead and do a cube projection. And then the regular UV map we'll do a normal unwrap for. Now, we're not going to leave it that way, obviously. But most of these, I do want to have be the concrete color, I think. Oh wow, that actually unwraps really nicely. I like that. Yeah, that's really solid. And then this up here, so yeah, this whole thing will be, for right now, the concrete color. There we go. So if we have the texture selected, it's all concrete right now. And then realistically, I kind of feel like the only thing we need to do, pretty much, is add maybe a tiny amount of greebling up on the top. Like, maybe add in a small little roof area here. Like so. Kind of like that. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then we just go through and select every single one of these windows, and this is the part where I wish that I had not yet put together the mirror, because this is going to be kind of a lengthy process. There are some of these faces we don't need. So there we go. And now for the next floor. Of course, we've only got, what, 5 stories here, so... And these will all eventually take the window color. Let me just grab all of these internal faces here. Oh, nope, not that one. There we go. Grab all the faces. There we go. All things considered, though, I'm kind of impressed with this one. I did not expect this to turn out like this, especially with no reference image. So that seems fine. I mean, the texturing will probably need some work later on. We can also make some LOD versions if we end up needing to. We can bake this down into a rectangle, or rather into a cube, pretty easily. So let's go ahead and just unwrap this, and then place all of these inside of the window. There we go. That'll do. I'll go ahead and save it. There we go. Okay, so that'll do. And we'll then go ahead and import in the apartment. Oh, the tree is still there. I keep forgetting to delete that. Okay, we will give that the proper material. There we go. And we will give it the proper scale. Excellent. So now we've got ourselves our building apartment. There we go. Put it into our urban buildings prefab, which we need a folder here. So urban, and then residential, and then apartment. Okay, and then assign that in, oops, there we go. Assign that in right there to apartment complex, and let's just make sure it works. And there's some apartment complexes. Excellent. So then the next thing would be duplexes, and realistically, for a duplex, I kind of just want to base it off of the house model. So let's go ahead and grab the house model here. And then essentially, I kind of just want to undo the rotation, grab this, move it this way, and move it about 0.4, and then mirror this across the y-axis, like so, and then call it a day, pretty much. I mean, there's some interior stuff in here that we could very easily get rid of. Basically everything in here. So we can go ahead and do that. We can get rid of all of these faces, all of these faces, this face here, this face here. Delete faces. There we go. Now, it bears noting that this might not fit within our circle, so let's go ahead and check. Actually, I think we're probably pretty close to fine. So save as duplex. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, that'll work. Excellent. So then let's go ahead and import that. We can get rid of our tree. We can get rid of our circle. We can paste in our values here. And yeah, that'll work fine. So I'll call this building duplex. And then pretty much all we'd need to do is have our upscale housing, which honestly, I think I'm just going to have be the house for now. So urban residential building duplex. And then in the sub-hexes, I'm going to do building duplex for the duplex. And then for the upscale housing, I kind of just want to do the house for right now. There we go. So that should be our residential done. And then we just need to do our commercial and industrial. Of course, these are placeholders still. Although that apartment complex looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. I don't hate that. The duplexes look kind of silly, but that's fine. And then we've got our smattering of houses as well. Then we just need to do commercial and industrial, which we will be tackling in the next episode. See you all then.